Second here.
Okay. Hi. Yay.
Hey, how are you?
Um,
Long time no
good.
see.
I know, and I just got off the phone with Fiona too. She gives me weekend calls. I'm like, yes.
Oh,
She
a
calls on the
second.
weekend just to talk sometimes. So we talk.
Mm-mm-mm-mm. All
I
right.
missed you. Oh my God, you look amazing, girl.
Thank you. I'm actually house sitting here in another part of California known as Santa Clarita Valley and or Santa Clarita Valley, Santa Clarita, uh, around there. And it's been amazing. Oh my gosh. Like I'm on the mountains. I get to see stars. I know, city girl problems. We don't get to see stars, okay?
What?
We see airplane lights and helicopters. So I've been house sitting for, well, it's going to be in total of 10 days, dog sitting and dog training. It's it's nice. As you can see, the background is blurred. I usually don't do that, but to keep this everyone friendly, I am closing off the
Yeah.
bar that's right over there.
Oh,
So,
well, you look
Yuri-san,
amazing.
hisashiburi. Genki desu ka?
元気です。
Ah, yukata. Okay, so today I wanted to talk about verbs. And I know like this is a topic that there's a lot of confusion about, as especially since there are different types of verbs. Now, verbs are going to be the backbone, not only just in English, especially constructing English sentences, but is the backbone of languages and constructing sentences in general. So, what we're going to do today, my friends, is that we're going to explore action verbs, linking verbs, and the difference between transitive and intransitive verbs. So, we're going to be discussing different categories of verbs that you will find or hear about in a typical ESL class. Now, of course, we're going to have some quizzes during this Zoom call, this Zoom class. We are going to do some Q&A to review on everything that we have learned today. So, who's ready to boost up their English skills? I'm hearing a yippee, but in my head. Okay. Oh, there we go. Now, please note that this is streaming, so you guys will find this on YouTube. For those that are on this actual Zoom call, please, if you have any questions, just go ahead and write them into the group chat. Okay, this is for you to look back on everything that we have learned today. So if you guys haven't subscribed to my channel, please go. Onegaishimasu. Okay, so let me just grab my notes. All right, so let's go ahead and kick things off about action verbs. Now, does anyone know what an action verb is?
Something about it complements a noun, maybe. Uh-oh.
That's a good guess.
Okay,
Yui-san?
fine. It makes it.
Hey, A plus for participation.
Okay.
I rather you participate and guess
But girl,
than
I'm not
being right.
smart. How can I
Oh,
become smart?
you are. You are. Learning our own language as a native native speaker, it's just as hard for non-native speakers.
Okay.
Okay? Yui-san, 何と思う? What do you think action verbs are?
わかりません。ごめんなさい。
Yeah. So, action verbs describe what someone or something is doing. So, for an example, Anna throws the ball. So, the word throws is an action verb. So, if I wanted to throw my wallet, which I preferably would not to, but this is the noun. This is the object, right? Well, you guys can't see it. So I am throwing it. So I'm doing the physical action that's impacting the subject that's going to result in it flying across the room. Does that make sense? Is that good?
Yes, I remember now. Kinda, yeah.
いいですか?
はい。
Okay. So to put it like to Japanese, okay, let's say, okay, this is coffee, right? So drinking, I'm drinking coffee. So コーヒーを食べます。食べますは action verb です。Unless I want to take a zip right now. おいしい。
Drinking?
Drinking. Drinking is the action verb in English. Okay. So, I want you guys to choose. I want you guys to see if you are able to identify an action verb in the following question. I want you guys to listen. Which of these contains an action verb? He is tall. She sings beautifully. Go ahead and put your answers in the chat right now or in the comments below if you guys are watching this later on. Let me repeat the sentences. He is tall. She sings beautifully. Which sentence contains or has an action verb? はい、それです。Michelle. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and write this down. I wanted to do a listening comprehension first before I wrote it down. Is it A, he is tall, or B, she sings beautifully? Which one has an action verb? It will be B. Okay, that did not work so well. Please hold. There you go. Sings. Yes. Okay. I'm just going to do a smart pen. I don't know what a smart pen does, but hey. Okay. Now, let's quickly go over transitive versus intransitive verbs. Now, this is going to hit more of my later beginners, intermediate speakers here. So, Yui-san, I know in previous classes you have attended a class on transitive and intransitive verbs. Do you remember? 覚えてますか？
多分覚えてないと思います。ごめんなさい。
Okay, so transitive verbs. These verbs do not have a direct object. These verbs, these can have a direct object. Sorry, I was reading over my intransitive verbs. These can have a direct object. So for an example, he feels a sharp pain. So feels is the transitive verb here. And a sharp pain, this is an example of a direct object. Let's do another example here. Okay. Here we go. Please send. I realize it's not typing. Please send the letter. Could someone tell me what is the action verb here? Or what is the verb here?
Send.
Send is the verb. So what is the direct object?
The letter.
The letter. Hi. Please send the letter. So transitive verbs. Oh, hi. Yes, please. Yes, Michelle?
There was a car going by, I think. But I think it was sorry about my vocal fry that comes out. I'm sorry. I think it was send the letter. Yeah.
Yes, send is the verb and the letter is the direct object. So transitive verbs are going to have one or more direct objects to express a complete thought. Okay? They are action verbs that show what action is being performed on, or rather, the subject or to the object. So, for an example, I'm giving a test to Yui-san. So, what is the verb in that sentence? I'm giving a test to Yui.
Given
Giving, yes. And who is the object here?
a test.
Ah,
No, Yui-san.
Yui-san. We'll test to Yui-san. That'll be the whole direct object, actually. So Yui-san, you are indeed the direct object as I'm giving you the letter. You're being impacted by receiving a test. ごめんなさい. Okay. Now, in contrast, we have intransitive verbs. I'm going to go ahead and do another thing here. These verbs do not have a direct object. So, for an example, he walks to the park. You see, intransitive verbs, they're going to often show the movement or are followed by a prepositional phrase. So walks is an intransitive verb because it doesn't have a direct object. But I'm giving a test to Yui-san. Giving would be a transitive verb as it does have an object. So another example. Laura laughed at the joke. Laura laughed loudly at the joke. What do you guys think? Is the verb intransitive or transitive? Let me know.
It's laughed. Right?
Laughed is the
Loudly.
verb, but is it transitive or intransitive?
It's that first one that we did, like the one to the letter, whatever that one was.
Transitive?
I think.
Do we have an
Sorry
object?
about I was like, I think, and then I waited to add the K. I'm sorry.
Don't apologize.
Is it that one?
It is not transitive.
Oh, intransitive then.
That's correct. It is intransitive. And why is it intransitive? Well,
directing it.
It shows with intransitive verbs, they are usually followed by prepositions or a prepositional phrase. So we have at the joke. Okay? There's no say there's no direct object. So once again, transitive verbs, they show what action is being performed on the subject or an object, is having a direct impact. Whereas intransitive verbs, they're going to express an action or an occurrence that does not act on an object. Let's do more comparisons here. Let's go with the train arrived on time. Intransitive or transitive? Now look at the verb. Is there a preposition? Is time being impacted by the action? Nani to omou? Intransitive. Why? We have a prepositional phrase. On time. Time is not being impacted by the action. It's something that is occurring. Okay, so let's do more examples here. You're okay, Mamash. We also have a puppers. She's blurred, but there's a puppers. Okay, so Yui-san. To arrive, right? I would say something along the lines of 電車は時間通りに着いた. Okay, so 時間通り時間通りに means on time. So the equivalent to that would be a prepositional phrase. So 日本語も店長は時間通りに着いた the transitive verb を使います. We're using transitive verbs over there. But with transitive verbs, however, it's like, again, like リンゴを食べます. We have an object particle that tells us that that sentence is going to be transitive as something is being impacted. Iいですか? I'm glad I'm going over this lesson.
Your lessons are so fun. We love it. And are you doing singing next?
Yes, I will be.
Yay. I'll try to participate.
Okay, awesome sauce.
I will.
Okay, so I am responding to one of the guys here. Okay, awesome. Now, also another, so transitive verbs, 日本語で他動詞でしょう。Most of the time, 日本語で you're going to see, like the ending す。So like, if I wanted to say to sit, 座る becomes 座らす。Okay. All right. So I'm just trying to find like a nice comparison for you. All right. So once again, oops. There we go. Let me grab my, oh, oopsies. Please hold. I lost my things. 1 second. Okay. ごめんなさい. All right. So let me go back over here. So transitive verbs. Please send the letter. 手紙を送ってください. So the direct object here will be the 手紙, the letter. But if I said the rain arrived on time, right? 電車を時間通りに着いた. The train arrived on time. On time is the prepositional phrase. Okay, let's do sleep. Koreo. The baby slept peacefully through the night. Transitive or intransitive?
Intransitive.
Intransitive is correct.
I copied their answer. I saw it.
Please be honest. I borrowed a book from the library. Transitive or intransitive?
Transitive.
なぜ? Why?
I don't know.
What does it have that the other one doesn't?
A place, an item,
An item, which is a
book.
The book is a direct object.
A
So
library?
the baby, no, the book. Book is a direct object. A direct object is a noun that gets impacted by an action. There's no direct object in the baby slept peacefully through the night. We have a subject, but we do not have an object. But in the sentence, I borrowed a book from the library, Here we have an object, which is the book, because the book is being borrowed. Okay. How about this one? Tsugimasu. And you're not going to share Girl Scout cookies?
I could send you some. They're really good.
All right. They ate pizza for dinner. Intransitive or transitive? Let me know in the chat. Dekita, Yui-san. You did it. Transitive. Naze. Why? Pizza is the direct object. それです. Yes. So, 彼らは晩ご飯にピザを食べた。ピザは direct object. はい、それです。Okay, let's do two more. The cat jumped high. 猫は高くジャンプした。
Intransitive. Transitive. Or the. I give up. I can't do it.
No, you were right the first time.
Oh.
Intransitive. なぜ why? There's no direct object. So for those that are still having confusions between transitive and intransitive verbs, let's take a closer look at the basic sentence structure, shall we? So,
You're the best. You're always so patient.
oh, shucks. The fundamental structure, basic structure for English is that we have a subject plus a verb plus an object. This is the fundamental, this is the basic sentence structure. Subject, verb, object. So going to the last example, the cat jumped high. Well, is there a noun that follows the word jumped?
Not a noun, just the word hi.
Hi, yes, that's correct. That's absolutely correct. There's no noun that followed jumped because nouns can function as an object. So that's one way you can tell. Hi, it's an adjective. 그렇죠? It's an adjective. But if I said, again, using a previous example, they ate pizza for dinner. Let's take a look. Here is the verb. Now, pizza와. Yes, that's correct, Yuisan. Intransitive, no direct object. Transitive, we have direct objects. So here we have a noun. We have pizza. Sorry, Japanglish. It should be like not ESL class, it should be like Japanglish class. Or Spanglishnese class. One of the two. So this one is a complete sentence. They ate pizza for dinner. So let's do a quick review. We learned about 3 types of verbs. The first one being action verbs. What we did is we identified what a verb looks like in a sentence. Then we learned about an action verbs. Action verbs it describes what someone or something is doing. Like she sings beautifully. Then we discussed about transitive verbs. Transitive verbs must have or must contain a direct object. And in contrast, we have intransitive verbs, which will not contain a direct object. Now, we will elaborate uses, later on as we further continue talking about the world of verbs. But I wanted to introduce to you how you can identify whether a sentence has a transitive verb or an intransitive verb. Now, before the class ends, let's talk about non-action verbs, known as linking verbs. Does everyone have their notes? Their pencils? Their good notes, notation?
Yes. A notebook.
Now, yes. Now, non-action verbs, linking verbs, they're the same thing, okay? Depending on the class that you go to, one will either use this term. Now, what non-action verbs do, or linking verbs, they're going to introduce a condition or a state, and it's going to be often followed by an adjective. But wait, isn't that like an intransitive verb? We'll get to that in later classes. So for an example, his skin feels hot. Feels is a linking verb here. It's a non-action verb. You can't like physically like feel something as opposed like you can't as opposed like throwing something, right? It's a condition or a state. When you're describing emotions, right? I'm feeling sleepy. I'm feeling thirsty. You're describing a condition. Now, linking verbs, you're going to use the verb to be. Okay, verb conjugations like am, is, or are. So here's a question for you guys. If I said, the sky grows cloudy, is grows a linking verb? This is a trick question, FYI.
No.
No?
Uh-uh. Yeah. No. Yeah, it's
No.
linked to sky.
So
It's a link. Yeah, it's a link, right?
it's a linking, yes, because
it's linked to a
it
sky.
becomes the sky is cloudy, making grows a linking verb, describing a condition or state. So this is where it can kind of get a little bit tricky here. Let's do another one. Let's do talking about the weather. The weather became chilly in the evening. The weather became chilly in the evening. Does became make it a linking verb?
No. Yes.
Why?
No. No, because
Don't guess. No, because. No,
yes
because
or no?
yes.
Fine. No or yes? No, right? No. No, because it's become.
I'm describing something. So I'm describing a condition.
Sky grows is linking, but become is become.
But I'm describing a
smart.
state. It's a don't ever say that you're not smart. Like I said, this is hard. Non-action verb. That is correct, Yui-san.
See, she's so smart.
This is like I said, this is a concept that is tricky. Like I said, when discussing these things, this is more intermediate level.
Okay.
That's why I'm trying to apply.
I can copy their answers though.
No, you will never learn by copying someone. You may pass a class by doing that. Yeah, but you're not going to be able to replicate it on your own. You're just like, oh, I just know this is right because I got it right on the test. All right.
Okay.
So verbs can replace the verb to be. To be is the main non-action verb. So to be as a conjugation, you guys will know it as is, am, was, were, will be, etc.
There is to be. In Spanish is to be, sir.
Ser, yes.
Okay.
Ser y estar en español son non-action verbs, son linking verbs. ¿Es la verdad?
Okay.
So these verbs can replace the verb to be. Okay, as why? I am describing a condition. These verbs link the subject to information about what you're talking about the subject. Now, on our Discord, I am going to leave a couple of exercises, and I want you guys to identify I want to identify transitive versus intransitive. And I want you to identify if a sentence has a linking verb or an OG action verb. All I ask you guys is to do your best. Okay? So now it's time for Q&A. What are your questions? Is there anything that you guys would like for me to review?
Next class, everything, like a pop quiz.
Yeah?
Uh-oh. Is that not? Uh-oh.
No, I didn't understand. I that was like it sounded like you wanted me to review everything during our singing class.
Oh, I'm sorry. Next week or next English class, maybe mini pop quiz of this so we can try.
There's going to be further activities, yes, including on our
Okay.
Discord. So, Yui-san, 大丈夫?
大丈夫です。
嬉しい. Good. All right, guys, that will conclude class for today. If you have further questions, please do not hesitate to ask. I will leave, for those that are interested to join our Discord and join these Zoom calls live, I'll leave it in the description below. And or also just leave, questions in the comments. That's all good too. Until next time, guys, I will see you next Saturday. Bye, everyone. Mata.